It's hard to feel great about the 2017 Seahawks these days. Just 4 days after the team's abysmal offensive performance in a loss to the Washington Redskins, Seattle took care of business by defeating the Arizona Cardinals in a Thursday night road test. The win moved the team to 6-3, but the only thing people were talking about after the game was injuries, particularly the season-ending ruptured Achilles tendon suffered by All-Pro cornerback Richard Sherman. Sherman was one of a handful of key Seahawks to go down on Thursday night, and the short-handed squad suddenly has to deal with a handful of surging NFC foes. Perhaps that's why NFL observers from around the country sound cautious when talking about Seattle in their weekly power rankings. Bleacher Report's Chris Sims is lowest on the Seahawks this week, though he moved them up one spot to number 13 in his rankings. The Seahawks deserve credit for continuing to fight and play a physical brand of football. "I just cannot buy into them as a title contender," he wrote. "Seattle's offense is ugly. It's all Russell Wilson, and when he isn't able to make magic, the Seahawks have no way to boost him. The defense is still effective, but it isn't a shutdown unit." The Washington Post's Mark Mask was slightly more optimistic, moving Seattle up 3 spots to 11th overall, while NFL.com's Elliot Harrison and CBS Sports' Pete Prisco each ranked the Seahawks 9th, up 1 spot from last week. "Losing Richard Sherman for the year will really impact their Super Bowl chances," Prisco wrote. "They're a different defense without him." The staffs at the MMQB and ESPN each ranked the Seahawks 8th overall this week, with the crew at ESPN pointing out just how thin Seattle's margin of error is for the rest of the season. "The secondary is banged up, the penalties are adding up the most in the NFL, and they can't run the ball," they wrote. Russell Wilson has been the saving grace, leading the team in rushing in addition to throwing 12 of his 19 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. The Seahawks will need him even more down the stretch if they want to meet their win projection. Yahoo Sports' Frank Schwab was highest on the team this week, but he didn't move them up from last week, keeping them at number 7 overall. "The Seahawks weren't especially deep at cornerback before Sherman's injury," he wrote. "I like the Seahawks at their peak, but the injury issues could be a problem." You can check out our weekly power rankings in the gallery above. SeattleP.com reporter Stephen Cohen can be reached at 206-448-8313 or Stephen Cohen at SeattleP.com. Follow Stephen on Twitter at @ScohenP.